Fangraphs a couple days ago ranked all the MLB rotations in baseball for the 2021 MLB season in their opinion. So that's what I'm going to react to in today's video. But before I get into this video, 85% of you that watch these videos are not subscribed. Get your life together. Hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, leave a like. Subscribe, turn on notifications, and leave a like. And yeah, let's go ahead and get into this video reacting to the top 30 rotations in MLB in Fangraphs' opinion. So yeah, coming in at number 30 for them is the Orioles. In that rotation, you've got John Means, Bruce Zimmerman, who might be a potential breakout player who once was a top prospect. You've got Felix Hernandez, Matt Harvey. Maybe Matt Harvey can have a breakout for this team, breakout season for this team. Even though I do think he is more of a reliever type player, I think that Matt Harvey maybe could have a breakout season. This is definitely his chance to have a breakout season because he's in the perfect position to break out, in my opinion. So you've got Jorge Lopez, who could maybe be a good arm in that rotation. But overall, this is a not very good rotation. John Means has been an all-star before, but he was probably the worst all-star on that team, if we're being honest, just because somebody from the Orioles has to make it. And Trey Mancini was not the same player that he is, and we know him as now. So yeah, nothing much to say here with the Orioles. Their rotation's bad. Coming in at number 29, Pittsburgh Pirates. I don't think that I like them ahead of the Orioles. I think that John Means in that all-star appearance, I think that I would put the Orioles ahead of the Pirates. Like, I don't care about 30 and 29. But I still don't necessarily agree with that. I mean, you've got Mitch Keller here, who's done nothing so far in his MLB career, and you could have Tyler Glasnow in that rotation. Will Crowe, I don't know really what much you can expect from him. I mean, Fangraphs, it looks like they're projecting like a 5 ERA from him. You sign Trevor Cahill, that's about the most boring move ever, and I don't think he's going to do much. When Steven Brault is your ace, I mean, it's just not a very good rotation. You've got Chad Cole, Tyler Anderson, but overall, this is a terrible rotation. 28, Chicago Cubs. Obviously, with the Cubs here, you've got Kyle Hendricks, which I think his projections are very low because I expect him to have a huge season, especially with Yu Darvish being gone. They significantly overpaid for Jake Arrieta, in my opinion, paying him like $7 to $8 million just to come back. I mean, I think that was quite a bit of an overpay. Trevor Williams, I mean, maybe he could have a breakout season, but I'm still not betting on that. You could hope that Brelin Marquez comes up. I don't expect him to come up, though, considering he was only in single-A advanced. But you've got Zach Davies there, too. Like, this Cubs rotation is bad, and that's the whole reason why I don't project them to make the playoffs in 2021. It's just because it's not very good, and their bullpen's not any better. So the Cubs definitely come in at number 28. They're bad as far as rotation. 27, Detroit Tigers. This is interesting because I think this is more projecting for the future here. Because if you're projecting for the future, you could expect them to have one of the better rotations in baseball. With Casey Mize, Tariq Skubal, Matt Manning, all those pitchers coming up. And Joey Wentz is another underrated prospect that has been a top prospect for years and could come up as well, and you would expect to come up. Michael Fulmer, just a couple short seasons ago, was really, really good with this team, which I don't think he will be. I don't think he can return to that form after, like 2 years of straight injuries. Matthew Boyd, I think, is a solid pitcher, but I don't think he's a number one in the rotation, so maybe you could get some assets back for him. That could be in that rotation. You signed Julio Teheran, Jose Urena this offseason, which I think one of those players maybe they could hit on, and it would be an offseason steal. So yeah. Coming in at number 26, Colorado Rockies. I mean, I don't necessarily hate this one, but I think that Kyle Hendricks is better than German Marquez. German Marquez is very good, and he's arguably the best pitcher that the Rockies have ever had. I mean, I think that Kyle Freeland, if you put him in a different situation, could really be a breakout candidate because Kyle Freeland, he's just not best suited in Colorado, just like any other pitcher. John Gray's another player that I think if you put him in the right situation, he would be a lot better. And I don't even think that German Marquez is really that great of a pitcher, and I say that he's the best pitcher in Rockies history, but I'm not even really like I don't even really take that as much of a compliment if I'm German Marquez, because they have just had such bad pitching over the years. Ryan Rolson, I think he is a super good pitcher. And He's really good, but I don't think he's going to perform in Colorado. Same with Austin Gomber, who they got in the St. Louis Cardinals trade for Nolan Arenado. I mean, he's had some impressive outings this spring, but overall, I mean, for this Rockies team, it's a bad rotation. 25 Marlins. Marlins at 25? That seems a little low to me. Sandy Alcantara is a really good pitcher, along with Pablo Lopez. And Sixto Sanchez, who is a future Cy Young, in my opinion. That seems very underwhelming, along with Trevor Rogers, who I'm not the biggest fan of. Eliezer Hernandez, too. And Braxton Garrett, too. And Gio Gonzalez, who can eat up innings. And Edward Cabrera, and maybe Max Meyer if he comes up this season. That seems low for the Marlins. 25? Ahead of the Angels? That's underwhelming. I think Sandy Alcantara and Sixto Sanchez are a great duo with starting pitching. 24th, the Kansas City Royals? That's just, I don't agree with that. I think the Marlins are better than the Royals here as far as starting pitching. I mean, Mike Minor, I just don't know what you can expect from him. He's always been disappointing, except like 1 year. Brad Keller, Danny Duffy, Brady Singer, they have some good pitching in the minors, but really? This just, no. 23 here. The Diamondbacks? Huh? All right. So you could think that the Diamondbacks maybe could have a good rotation from a perspective, right? You could think, well, maybe Madison Bumgarner could have a good season here, like we were expecting him to have just a season ago in 2020. Zach Gallen showed Cy Young potential, and I think Zach Gallen's super good and super underrated. Morel Kelly, another player that had a good 2020, but it's more like you're going off 2020 too much here, in my opinion. So we'll have to see more from this Diamondbacks rotation, especially to put them ahead of the Marlins, I think. 22 Rangers, yeah, this is pretty self-explanatory. This is way too high, though. I mean, the Rangers rotation is just dog crap. I mean, Kohei Ohara. Like, huh? Like, I just don't even understand this. Dane Dunning is good. Kyle Gibson is overrated. Kohei Ohara, he's coming from Japan. Like, the hitters in Japan are kind of eh. Mike Fultonevich, I mean, it's definitely his season to break out. But yeah, I mean, for this Rangers rotation, it's not very good. 21 here is the Giants. I don't hate the Giants rotation. Like, I don't hate it, but neither do I like it. I think that the pickup of Alex Wood was actually a good pickup for this team, along with Aaron Sanchez. Aaron Sanchez, just back in, I think, 2017 was an all-star caliber player if he did not make the all-star team. Johnny Cueto, I don't expect a lot from him. My projections for him are very, very low, and that's just because he's getting up there in age, and there's no team that's going to take on that contract. Kevin Gausman, though, is super underrated, and I think he will have a great season in 2021. He had a great season in 2020. I think he'll be a real good re-signing for this team. Anthony DeSclafani, I think, is a player that's had that potential always to break out, but just has never done it. So I think 2021 might be the season for a couple of these Giants pitchers. 20 is the Rays? Huh? The Rays at 20? That seems a little low to me. Because I think that the pitchers that they have in their farm system can make a huge impact. Now, I do not rely on rookies as it comes in the postseason, but I do tend to think that they can make an impact in the regular season. Tyler Glasnow is one of the more overrated players in baseball, in my opinion. Everybody hypes him up like he is really, really good. And this guy can't even throw a fastball correctly. I mean, it's not like I can say much there. But still, I mean, Tyler Glasnow at a 3.59 ERA is ridiculous. He's not going to be that good. He is way overrated. Brian Yarbrough as your number 2 is not a good thing. Neither is Chris Archer or Michael Wacha in that rotation. That's not anything to be proud of. Rich Hill. But I think there's one of those players, Chris Archer or Michael Wacha, that the Rays will get something out of. You've got Luis Patino there, who was the big pickup in the Blake Snell trade. You've got Brett Honeywell. You've got Shane McClanahan, who I think we did see a bit of in the postseason. You've got Colin McHugh, who showed previous flashes of being really good. And you've got Joe Ryan. So this team overall, I think I think that their rotation has the ceiling to be a little bit better, but I think 20 is probably a decent spot for them. 19, the Athletics. I don't hate this pick because I think that Jesus Luzardo, AJ Puck, both of those players are going to have huge seasons. I'm really expecting a big season from one of those players. Sean Manaea, I'm not a big fan of. Neither am I with Chris Bassett. But Chris Bassett shown that he can be good. Frankie Montas, who knows how he'll be without the steroids. But yeah, overall, it's another thing with athletics I'll have to see. But I'm wondering here, where are the Angels? Like, huh? 18, Astros. I'm not sure if the Astros are going to be getting back Justin Verlander, but if I think they do, they skyrocket up here because Zach Greinke and Jake Odorizzi as a 1 and 2, I think is a pretty good 1 and 2, along with Lance McCullers, Jose Urquiña, who was actually pretty decent in 2020, along with Christian Javier, Framber Valdez once he is back from injury. Your rotation is starting to really look up if you can get players like Framber Valdez and Justin Verlander back. Your rotation will be looking a ton better, in my opinion. You build a rotation there of Zach Greinke, Jake Odorizzi, Lance McCullers, Framber Valdez, and Justin Verlander, and that's one of the best rotations in baseball, in my opinion. That is a super good rotation. 18 for the Astros, I feel like, is a good spot. 17, Red Sox. This seems a little high, too. I know Nathan Eovaldi was throwing like 100 in spring training day, which is absolutely crazy from him. And if he can be that good, then you could expect maybe a little more from this Red Sox team. But overall for this Red Sox team, I don't have a lot of high hopes for their starting pitching. Eduardo Rodriguez, I don't know what you can expect from him after coming off COVID. And Garrett Richards, another player that I always have high hopes for, but always am continually disappointed. So, yeah, Chris Sale, he should be coming back this season, but I'm not expecting a huge season from him. I don't think you can expect a big season from a player that just had Tommy John surgery. I don't really like to put that pressure on players because I just don't think that that's correct. Nick Pivetta is another player that could be decent for this Red Sox team. I mean, I'm not big on the Red Sox rotation, but I think it has some potential. The LA Angels at number 16. No, they did. The LA Angels at number 16. What? No. No, they didn't. Just put the Angels at number 16. Are they absolutely on drugs? Oh, Fangraphs. I mean, I think there's some knowledgeable minds at Fangraphs. And I think there are some great baseball minds at Fangraphs. But I do not agree with this one. I don't know what time you published this article, but it must have been 3 a.m. because you must have been really tired. Because the Angels at number 16 is absolutely it's absolute bullcrap. If the Angels were the 16th best rotation in baseball, then Mike Trout would have already been in the playoffs. And then maybe not in the World Series. This is absolute crap. Dylan Bundy is not that type of pitcher. If he didn't have a foreign substance, he wouldn't be worth a crap. Andrew Heaney is the most average pitcher in baseball, in my opinion. Jose Quintana, another player that you picked up to be your ace, and nope. Alex Cobb, he's one of the most overpaid players in baseball. You're paying him $17 million to, I don't know, use Rosenbach for no reason, just trying to get some, I don't even know what you're trying to do. You're just trying to get more germs on your Rosenbach. Griffin Canning here, Shohei Ohtani, I mean, I don't know what they expect him to do, throw 190 innings. And let's see here, hit 30 home runs. I mean, I don't know what you're expecting from this team, but this is absolutely terrible. I just don't even know what to say here. Cleveland at number 15. Huh? No. Shane Bieber is the AL Cy Young in 2020. And I don't think that's a fluke at all. I think that he's a really good pitcher. You've got Zach Plesac, who I think has the potential to have a breakout season. You've got Aaron Savali, Tristan McKenzie, Cal Contrail, who I'm a big fan of, who you got back in the Mike Clevenger trade. You've got Logan Allen. This is one spot ahead of the Angels? And then the Cardinals are at number 14? Oh, no. Jack Flaherty, I think, is really good. Do not get me wrong. I mean, look at Fangraphs projections. You can see on the screen, 3.47 ERA. They've got really good projections for him. But besides that, their rotation is really dry. I mean, you've got Miles Michaelis, who I think could be a good number 2 on a team. It's just he's injured all the time. And you've got Adam Wainwright, Carlos Martinez. Adam Wainwright's getting up there in age, and I don't really know what much you can expect from him. And Carlos Martinez is more of a relief pitcher, in my opinion. Cardinals at number 14 seems a little crazy. Number 13, Seattle Mariners. Huh? No. I actually do like this Mariners rotation. Justice Sheffield has done nothing since he's been in the major leagues. Yusi Kikuchi has been pretty average since he's been in the major leagues after being one of those big Japan signings. Just a couple off seasons ago. Justin Dunn, I think, is very, very good, and I think could have a season where he breaks out. James Paxton, Marco Gonzalez. I don't think this is a bad Mariners rotation, but I don't think it's better than Cleveland at number 15. 12, Minnesota Twins. The Twins rotation, I don't think is that good that it's been hyped up to be. I just don't. Jose Barrios, Kenta Maeda, both good pitchers at the top of that rotation. Jay Happ more towards the back end of that rotation. He's always going to be solid. Michael Pineda there, Matt Shoemaker. I don't think that this is bad rotation for the Twins, but it's not a good rotation. I'm going to assume at number 11 this is Toronto because Julian Merriweather's on the Blue Jays. Yeah, it's the Blue Jays. Okay. Hyun-Jin Ryu here's an ace, but besides that, it's just nothing that I'm happy about if I'm a Blue Jays fan. I mean, Robbie Ray, we've seen that he can be an all-star, but once again, he's not proven to be an all-star. And a 4 ERA is just not going to do it for your number 2 pitcher, especially pushing towards the playoffs in a tough AL East where you have the Yankees, where you have the Rays. It's just not going to do it. Tanner Roark, he's projected to have an over 5 ERA. Steven Matz is not that great either. Nate Pearson, I mean, I don't know that you can be relying on pretty much a rookie to be there saving your butt in the playoffs. I just don't think that you can. So I don't like that. I think the Blue Jays should be a little lower, just as I do with the Twins. I personally, if I'm ranking them, maybe I'm crazy here, but I think that Cleveland comes in at number 11. And I think that all the teams there get pushed back. And I think the Angels would be way down in my rankings. So yeah, now to the top 10. At number 10 is the Milwaukee Brewers. So the Brewers here, they've got Brandon Woodruff, who is obviously the ace of that rotation. And he's very, very good. I mean, he really showed in 2020 that he's the ace of the Brewers staff. You've got Corbin Burns there, who I think is a very solid number 2. You've got Josh Lindblom, who I think won the KBO MVP. But at the end of the day, I don't think he had the best way to prepare to get into the major leagues. And that's just because the KBO, there's some former major leaguers over there, but there's always not the greatest competition over there, if that makes any sense. There is some good competition, but it's not always great competition. So, yeah, Brett Anderson, a solid number 4 there. Adrian Hauser, Freddie Peralta, Eric Lauer, Jordan Zimmerman. They're all going to be fighting for rotation spots. So, yeah, I would not put Jordan Zimmerman if I was in that rotation if I was Milwaukee. Number 9, the Braves. The Braves? What? No. Come on. I mean, come on, Fangraphs. Oh, these are just not good. These rankings are bad. Oh, man. Max Fried, Charlie Morton, Drew Smiley, Mike Soroka, and Ian Anderson. 3 to 4 Cy Young caliber pitchers in that rotation, is getting a whopping number 9 spot on your list. Max Fried is a Cy Young candidate, in my opinion, along with Mike Soroka, who was a 2019 NL Cy Young pitcher. Like I said with Chris Sale, I'm not expecting a ton from Mike Soroka, but I think that Max Fried can step up and be the ace. I think Mike Soroka could still be a solid number 2 or number 3. You've got Ian Anderson, who I think it's his year to have an even better season, and Charlie Morton, Drew Smiley. That's crap. If number 8's the Phillies? No! Oh, no, they didn't. No. This is terrible. Oh my gosh. This is not good. Really, Fangraphs? This is just not good. So, okay, with the Phillies here, Aaron Nola, Zach Wheeler, a very good number 1 and number 2, but Zach Wheeler's projections aren't even that impressive. 4.07 ERA is very disappointing for him to be getting paid $25 million a year. Like, what is this projection? I don't even think the Phillies are a top 10 rotation, much less even close to the top 10, really, because Zach Eflin is just not – he's just not very good. He's mediocre. Vince Velasquez, same thing. Matt Moore, same thing. Spencer Howard, I don't really know what you can expect from him. Fangraphs is not expecting a lot, 4.64 ERA. But you're putting the Phillies ahead of the Braves. That's absolute crap. Because, I mean, the Phillies would have been in the playoffs already if they had this good of a rotation like Fangraphs is saying. That is absolutely not correct. No. 7. The Reds. I don't hate this pick, but now that they've lost Sonny Gray, I'm starting to not like this pick. TJ Antone is one player to watch out for in 2021. He is one of my breakout players for 2021. I really think that he's going to have a breakout season in 2021, so watch out for TJ Antone. Michael Lorenzen, I don't think he's going to be starting. Wade Miley, another player that's injured, who has been solid in the back end of that rotation before for some teams, but I don't really know what you can expect from him. Tyler Mahle, he's another player that could break out. You've got Sonny Gray, who, like I said, went down with injuries, but had a great 2020 season, and Luis Castillo, who I think is going to have a really good season. But for this Reds team here, I don't think that their rotation is bad, and I think that their rotation is actually pretty good still with losing Trevor Bauer. I think it's still a good rotation, but I don't know that it's ahead of the Braves. I just don't. I don't think it is. 6 is the White Sox. Now, I don't hate this here, but for the White Sox, they're very top-heavy. You've got Lance Lynn, Dallas Keuchel, Lucas Giolito. Lucas Giolito was my pick to win the Cy Young. You've got Dallas Keuchel, Lance Lynn. All those 3, in my opinion, are Cy Young caliber pitchers. I think that Michael Kopech should come more out of the bullpen in 2021. You've got Dylan Cease, who is a decent number 5, but not a number 4, I don't think. Carlos Rendon, he should not be in that number 5 spot. I think they need to trade for another starting pitcher. I don't think it has to be a Lance Lynn type player, but I think it needs to be a decent, very good, pretty good rotation piece. 5 Nationals. This makes a ton of sense here. You've got Max Scherzer, Steven Strasburg, who went down with a calf injury, but he said he's not very concerned. John Lester, Joe Ross, Eric Fetty. This rotation is very good, especially with that top 3 of Patrick Corbin, Max Scherzer, Steven Strasburg. Those are 3 really good pitchers. And, I mean, for this national team, I expect a bounce-back season for them in 2021. 4 is the Yankees. I think this is a little too high because this Yankees rotation is hoping for a lot, I think. And what I mean by a lot is Garrett Cole is a sure thing. He's going to be in that Cy Young race. Corey Kluber and Jamison Tyne, though, are players that have had injury past, along with Luis Severino. All 3 of those players that are probably going to be there in that 2 to 4 range have had injury problems. Deivi Garcia, the projections are not looking too hot for him. Jordan Montgomery, I don't really know what you can expect here. I don't think that this Yankees rotation is exactly number 4 here. because I just don't. I don't think it's number 4. I think it's hoping that too many right things happen, and you're thinking more towards there's nothing wrong that could happen instead of there definitely could be some wrong things that could happen in the process. Number 3, New York Mets here. The Mets have a great rotation. You've got Jacob deGrom, best pitcher in baseball in my opinion. You've got Marcus Stroman, who I think is a solid number 2, definitely. Carlos Carrasco went down with an injury. I'm a little concerned about Carlos Carrasco because he does have injury past, and another injury kind of seems very concerning to me. Taekwon Walker, though, you picked him up to be in the back end of that bullpen, I meant starting rotation. You've got Jordan Yamamoto, too, who had a good outing just a couple days ago in spring training, along with Joey Lucchesi was the one I meant that had a good outing. You've obviously got Noah Syndergaard, who has not yet returned from injury. Like I said, I'm not expecting a ton from him in 2021, but I am expecting him to be a solid pitcher. I'm not expecting him to have like a 5 ERA. So I think that this Mets rotation is very, very good, but I would be a little bit concerned about Carlos Carrasco here, but I still think number 3 is the proper spot for them. Coming in at number 2 is the Dodgers. No way they put the Dodgers at number 2. No. Julio Urias is a player that I think is going to have a big season for the Dodgers. And, I think he's really going to have a big season for the Dodgers after that 2020 postseason. You've got David Price, who, yes, is one of the more overpaid players in baseball. Still is going to be good, I think. Whether that's coming out of the bullpen or starting. Same with Dustin May. He is super underrated. And look at Fangraphs projections, like a 3.70 ERA from him. I would be super happy with that if I was the Dodgers. Trevor Bauer, Walker Buehler, Clayton Kershaw, that's 3 Cy Young pitchers right there at the top of your rotation. And I think Julio Urias is a sleeper picker for Cy Young. This rotation depth for the Dodgers is absolutely crazy. With Bauer, Buehler, Kershaw, Urias, Price, May, Gonsolin, Josiah, great. I don't know how you put the Dodgers at number 2. Number 1, obviously San Diego Padres. You've got Yu Darvish, Blake Snell, Joe Musgrove, Dinelson Lamet, Chris Paddock, Mackenzie Gore. I'm starting to get a little worried about Dinelson Lamet's health because he's just not. He just cannot stay healthy. He was not healthy for the 2020 postseason, and now he's injured as well. The projections are crazy for this team. Mackenzie Gore, if he comes up, he might be a number 6 starter. But I like the rotation depth of both the Padres and the Dodgers here. Because if one player goes down with an injury, they've got another player ready to come up and be a really good player. Yu Darvish is really good. He was competing for that Cy Young. He was my Cy Young pick for 2021. You've got Joe Musgrove, who I think is kind of boring, but still he's a good pitcher. Blake Snell, obviously he won the 2018 AL Cy Young, I think it was, maybe even 2019. I don't know. It was one of those. But obviously he's super good. And then you've got Dinelson Lamet, Chris Paddock, Mackenzie Gore. That is a super good rotation, but I do think the Dodgers are number 1. So yeah, that's going to be the end of this video. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you leave a like, subscribe, turn on notifications, because 85% of you that watch these videos are not subscribed. Get your life together, hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and leave a like. Thank you for watching, and peace.